win this week?
I mean, I always want to win, so it's not like I have to draw too far. But I mean, when I look at it now, it's like, I mean, I don't know what the percentages are, but I know they're not high, and I think it'd be special if we get into the playoffs and can make a run. So why not give ourselves a chance to do that? And we have to start by winning football games, and so that's where we'll start at.
Graz, can this, I just said poor Mahomes, by the way. That's why we're laughing.
He's not.
He's not. You're right. Can this Chiefs team do anything against the Chargers defense that we just saw shut down the Eagles?
Not unless they're going to magically get healthy on the offensive line. I mean, it's such a big part of their hopes for this season, and they had higher hopes for this season as an offense, was their ability to protect Patrick Mahomes and how much better that was going to be, and was early in the season. But with Josh Simmons now out, and Wanya Morris now out, and they're just so shredded at the tackle position. Trey Smith, their great right guard, has not been able to play. They just don't have the personnel up front to protect him. They don't have a representative run game to help protect him. I just don't know that they have it. I don't know, it's tough to count them out, but
yeah, until the percentages are zero, it is very difficult to count them out. Trey Smith did fortunately return to practice today. Maybe he can play on Sunday. Let's talk about the nuts and bolts here for the Chiefs. You talked about basically everybody else's involvement. The Chiefs, of course, have to win those 4 games. Two of them, I think we feel pretty good about. The Titans and the Raiders. The other two might be closer to coin flips against this weekend, the Chargers, and then on Christmas night, the Broncos. Both of those games played at Arrowhead Stadium, which you like. The defensive efforts of the Chiefs have probably gone overlooked this year because of their record, but it's the offense that's concerning here. It feels like the Chiefs have to play against tough competition, close to perfect offensive football to score any number of points. The days in which America became familiar with this iteration of the Chiefs, they smashed the easy button, right? It's Tyreek Hill on a 75-yard touchdown pass that takes, 12 seconds for the entire drive to go from, possession in 10 to 6 points in the end zone. So the Chiefs have to grind for every point this year. That it's very difficult for me to imagine them get into the playoffs, or even if they do, doing as much damage as we are accustomed to them doing in January and February.
And by the way, the Chiefs lost to the Chargers in week 1. Remember that. They haven't been swept by the Chargers in a season since 2013. And by the way, that was Mahomes' senior year of high school. That's how long ago that was. So if that happens, historical in a way. All right, new on NFL Live, we got some news from the college football world. Adam, what more can you tell us?
Major college football news that just came in, Laura. The University of Michigan has fired its head coach, Sharon Moore. Michigan becomes the latest school amongst many in the college football world to make a dramatic head coaching change that will have reverberations across the college football world. Now, a short time ago, Pete Thamel reported the firing is for cause. Obviously, there'll be more about that at a later time. But for now, we do know that Michigan becomes the latest school to be looking for a head coach, moving on from Sharon Moore just moments ago.
Yeah, just fascinating to think about who could replace Sharon Moore, especially considering that a lot of the other vacancies, as we know, have already been filled. There's not that many guys just waiting around, but Michigan, as you well know, Adam, is a great job and a very proud university. Still ahead on
Philip Rivers responds to move forward, but it's a situation now where basically they have a quarterback decision to make, and there's a real possibility that Philip Rivers is going to start Sunday at Seattle.
By the way, if Philip Rivers gets the start for the Colts Sunday in Seattle, it would be the second straight season where the head coach is younger than the starting quarterback. Okay, Joe Flacco was the quarterback last year for Shane Steichen that he had. It's only happened 2 other times in the last 40 seasons prior to the Colts, most recently with the 2008 Jets when Eric Mangini and Brett Favre were paired together. So if we could only talk to the GM who made that call. Look who's here with us. Mike Tannenbaum joining us now. Mike, you're familiar with this kind of veteran QB signing from when you signed Brett Favre, as we just mentioned there. How do you see this going with Philip Rivers?
I was there, and we also had Vinny Testaverde, who was also towards the end, and it's their feet that goes first, and that would be the big concern is Philip Rivers could still throw the ball. Presumably his workout went very well on Monday night, but they are going to Seattle. They have the second highest percentage of pressure in the league. They're going to blitz Philip Rivers if he plays in pregame and make him move. There's no doubt he could throw the ball, but my big concern is, can he protect himself from a team that's going to bring a lot of pressure? And we saw that with Brett Favre, Vinny Testaverde. It's their feet that goes first, not their arm.
Yeah, it's something to keep an eye on for sure. What does this all mean for Daniel Jones' future in your mind?
You know, Laura, the obvious comparison is what happened with Kirk Cousins a couple years ago. When he was with the Vikings, he tore his Achilles tendon. He still wound up getting $90 million in guaranteed money from the Atlanta Falcons. Because this injury happened as late as it did, I don't think he's going to get that in terms of guaranteed money as robust of a market. But if I'm the Colts, I do want to bring him back. I want to hedge my bet a little bit. I don't think they would franchise him at $45 million. They still have Anthony Richardson, who's obviously been a disappointment. And then, you know, in free agency, maybe they go with a youth movement and go with the 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. So, you know, we'll see what they do. But the free agent market for quarterbacks isn't good. So hopefully there's some middle ground with Daniel Jones. But I would be surprised if he was ready by opening day, just given how late in the year we are.
Yeah, you wonder with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he said that he wanted to retire after this year, but he might have thought the Steelers season was going to go a little bit differently. But again, that book is not written yet. So if the Steelers go on a run, could change things. Or if they don't, that may factor in as well. All right, more to come. Thanks, Mike T, for stopping by here. This is just like niche knowledge that you only have. Coming up, it's the
Right Out Wednesday, we have a new addition to our favorite wide receiver museum. Here we got Improve It, Remove It, Love It. One player, 3 plays, one to get better at, one to get out of our game, and one that is such a work of art, we hang it in the Louvre. That's right, we got Nico Collins making his debut on Wide Out Wednesday. We're gonna go with the first play, our Improve It play. So here you're gonna see a slant from Nico, and it's a catch. But what I would love to see him do here is, while he gets into the point of attack quickly, I would love to see him push more vertical to move that DB and create more of a window here so he's catching it 2 yards inside the numbers instead of in front of that alley defender where it becomes a catch tackle. The next play, we're going to go to our Remove It. Now, as a wide receiver, our job is to protect the quarterback's throws. Here you're going to have a basic route, which is a 10-yard in from the slot. And Nico is going to get across field, but he has to understand and know that in this coverage, he has to cross his defender's face because that puts him in position between the defender and protects the throw. He doesn't do it, he throttles down, and it's almost a turnover, which is always the worst case scenario. And lastly, our work of art, our Love It. Here's a big play. Every piece of this play is literally perfect and why Nico Collins is one of the best young receivers in the National Football League. First is going to start with the release. Now, he's going to have an inside release, but he understands in order to go inside, I got to go outside. So he's going to remove this cornerback 2 yards out to create the lane to get inside. Now, if he gets pushed down, that's bad. If he keeps the same lane, that's okay. What he does is even better. He gets wide to create more of a throwing lane for the quarterback, and then he comes downhill to protect that throw the way he did it in our last play. And then he has a catch and a big-time run. Nico Collins can run routes. He's big body, he has impeccable hands, and that's why he deserves to be everywhere that every receiver with any kind of skill belongs. You see the first one, Graz. Graz, you're new to this museum.
I've watched the show. I've seen the Hawk Elisa.
Both Nico and Graz are new to the Louvre. Welcome, Nico. You belong. Graz, I got to see you run some routes.
Graz, let's put Graz in the Louvre. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. By the way, Nico Collins, 100% deserving of that spot. Let's go to Kansas City for a moment, you guys. At 6 and 7, by the way, there was an and in there for the kids at home. Okay, just had to do that. The Chiefs sit 2 back of the Texans for the final AFC playoff spot with just 4 games remaining. So it's crunch time, okay? We already kind of knew that, right? But one notable path to the playoffs includes them winning out. Our analytics gives them a 26% chance of that. And the Chargers would have to lose their 3 remaining games versus AFC teams against Kansas City, Houston, and Denver. It's possible.
Sure.
They'll also need some help from the Colts and Ravens. New on NFL Live, here's Patrick Mahomes on if there's extra motivation for him.